Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome in this episode, and I thank you that you have continued to watch our episodes that we continue putting up online. And for those maybe who missed other episodes, you can still log in to through YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is CPA Masinde Wamalwa, and in this episode we are always talking about personal finances and wealth creation. Wealth creation is an aspect that everyone wants to thrive in. Every family wants to make money. When you talk about money, that topic arouses everyone, including myself, including you who is watching me at this hour. The topic about money is always an interesting thing to every person who is on this earth. Every person is in the game of chasing money or allowing their money to chase other money on their behalf. So in this episode, I want to begin by the lessons that I have learned from my childhood, from my mother and from my father. Now, my mother, I will not tell you that she is a learned person, because she only had the basic education and she never proceeded to tertiary education. But the lessons that I have learned over her, I have learned is quite huge. She has taught us so many things. She does these small businesses at home, the ones that actually she has used to bring us up. Her capital that she invested in business, and even including the working capital and the total business, is not more than 1,000 shillings. But it is all about persistence, is all about resilience. She has kept on moving, and through that business of less than 1,000, she has brought us up. All of us, a family of 7. But through that business, she has been able to bring us up. And my father, all the time, when you went to him asking for money or anything, she used to tell us at that time he has no money. But these things he used to tell us over time, I have come to realize it was for our own benefit. Now today, if you maybe let's say you are a manager, you are a team leader in a certain organization, you are employed, and when your children come to your organization and they find that you own an office, even you are given a company vehicle that you are using to run around with it in the course of business, your children will think that you own that company. You cannot convince them that you are only entrusted as a manager, you are only entrusted as a CEO, but they think that you own the business. So that is a lesson that I have learned over time from the life that we led in our family from my father. He used to tell us that you will get whatever you wanted, maybe a day or two ahead, but it was not always there. Our parents, if you go back into your early life, you find that they never used to own anything. Even if they had something, they could not directly tell you that whatever you want, it is just there like that. But they used to tell us, wait a little bit, you will get it. So those are the lessons that I have learned from my mother and from my father. And I believe they are so wonderful. They can help us even as we nurture, as we bring our children up. So, in this episode, I want us to talk about wealth creation. I have told you about my mother who owns a business that is less than 1,000, but she has kept on doing it for more than 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And out of that business, she took us to school. Like my school, I went to Bugoma High School. School fees used to pay over 20,000 in a year. And as I have told you, in a family, we are 7. But out of that business, she has been able to take us to school. My brother, our eldest brother, went up to tertiary level. Second born girl went up to tertiary level. Myself, up to tertiary level, and the rest of us went up to tertiary level because of that business of 1,000. I know many of you, it sounds like magic, but that is how she did it. And she always told us slowly is the best way to get to where you want to be. And the peak of one mountain is the beginning of the other mountain. If we meet another time, I will tell you how she used to date, but that is in a snapshot of what we went through. Now, in this episode, I want us to talk about wealth creation. Everyone wants to be rich. Everyone wants to create some wealth. So today, in this episode, as we will navigate through, you will know how to create wealth. Now, the reason our mother has been able to do that business for over 20 years and to educate us is because, number one, she knew what she was doing. She had passion in everything that she does. And the field that she invested in is a field that she understands. So today in this episode, I want us to talk about the steps or aspects of wealth creation. And the first step is this. The first aspect is this. You need to invest in something that you know. You need to invest in something that you know. For example, you did agriculture in your college, in your university. You did an agriculture. And you want to invest in a medical field. You want to invest in a medical field. In this case, in this field, you need to know that the first thing, you are not a medic. So you don't have any knowledge about medicine. So in this case, even when you employ people to come and run the business on your behalf, or you bring in you employ people, the first thing, they have more knowledge than you have. So they can easily screw you up. They can easily squander your business because you do not have knowledge in that field. So I will encourage you that you invest in something that you know. You invest in an area that you so understand, because in this area you have done your research, you know it so well, you have professional knowledge, you have the skills because of the trainings that you underwent when you were growing up in the field. So ensure that you invest in the area that you do understand. Many people have invested in areas that they don't understand, but some years down the line, you go find the buildings, the assets that they accumulated are lying there idle because they never had knowledge in those areas. And another aspect is you need to guard your reputation. It takes years, it takes a lot of time for you to build reputation, to build a brand, to build the name. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of investment. It takes a lot of resource mobilization to build a brand, to build a reputation. But it takes 1 single minute, 1 single second to lose it or to break it. A name is worth billions and billions and billions of resources, of assets. You can give me a name today, you can give me a brand today that even when I go to town, in any town, and I start up the business using that brand, and it thrives. For example, today, a brand like M-Pesa, if you go to any town and you open an M-Pesa, you will still make money because of the brand M-Pesa. The brand Safaricom has over time invested in that brand M-Pesa. And even when I go out there to start an M-Pesa, I don't have to do advertisement because already the brand is already there. Now, let's talk about KFC, or let's talk about Java. There is a lot of investment that has been done in that brand already. So when you go out there with the persistence, you will still make money. So guard your reputation, guard your brand with all zeal, with a lot of energy that you have, because that brand, when it is broken down, you will lose money and you will lose the business. So in this case, I want to urge you, viewers, that reputation is something that you really need to guard, because once it is destroyed, you cannot rebuild it so much easily. For example, as I have given you an example of M-Pesa with Safaricom. Safaricom always want to invest into that brand. They do a lot of research, they do a lot of investment, so that that brand is well guarded, and the reputation of the company is well guarded in that aspect. Another one, you need to trust your feelings. You need to trust your feelings. I want to tell you, some years back, I saw somebody doing business of chicken rearing, poultry rearing, and I thought there is a lot of money in that area. So without even thinking twice, without even doing research about the market, about the diseases that affect the business, I just jumped into the business without any other thought, without a second thought. And I lost quite an amount of money, because I had no knowledge, because I had no feelings towards that field. So you need to trust your feelings. If your feelings tells you that this is not an area that you can invest in, if your feelings tells you that this is not the business you can thrive in, you better stick in what you know. You better stick in the field that you really understand, because in that area that you really understand, if your feelings tells you that you need to invest in your field, do it, because you have a competitive advantage over other people that comes in that field. For example, if you are an accountant like myself and you invest in financial services, for example, you go into accounting services. For example, you do accounting, you do auditing and assurance, you do taxation, you invest in that line. Already I have the skills, I have the knowledge, I have an understanding than any other person who did a different profession coming into an accounting field, because in this sector I already have a competitive advantage, because I have the skills and I have the knowledge. So you better stick in an area that you have the knowledge and you have the skills. Now, another aspect, you really need to follow your passion. You really have to follow your passion. Something that you are passionate about, you always have time to do it. You don't have even to bargain with yourself. You just find yourself doing it. For example, if you are a player, a football player, anytime you go next to a field, you find people playing football, you find yourself kicking the ball. You find yourself even giving people some tuition. Let's say you go to even the villages and find young children playing football. You just find yourself giving them coaching, because you have passion of football. You have passion in the area of football. If you are a doctor, you are on the road and you get an emergency scene, you just swing into action because you are passionate about medicine. So if you invest in something that you are passionate about, you don't quarrel with your instincts, you don't quarrel with yourself, you just find yourself doing it because you love it. So I urge you, as you do your investment, as you are in the process of wealth creation, you invest in something that you are passionate about, because a passionate field, you find yourself doing it without even being forced to do it. And when you invest in that area, you also need to understand that you expect to gain, you expect to lose. If you go with one mind that I am investing into this field because I'm going to make huge profits, you are going to make your business is going to boom. You need you will go there, and anything that brings your business down, anything that causes you to lose, just a loss of one day will cause you to close your business. It will cause you to close your business. Now, another aspect is you need to separate the money for the business and your personal finances. If you put these two into your one basket, you put your personal finances in one basket and the business finances into your one basket, you will not be able to distinguish between the two. You will not be able, if you put the money meant for the business and the money meant for your personal finances into one basket, you will not be able to know if your business is doing well. You will not be able to know if you are overspending in your business, because you will end up also bringing your personal expenses into the business. So if you want to grow your wealth, ensure that you separate what belongs to the business and what belongs to you. You separate them because they are totally distinct. I was working sometime somewhere, and it was a sole proprietorship business. It was a company owned by the family. And the director, the CEO of that company, used to say, for example, I want to use the name that you all know, but that is not the real name. Or let me use my name. This channel is called CPA Masinde Wamalwa. There is a totally difference between the channel name CPA Masinde Wamalwa and myself. So that person used to say, when we used to tell him that we need to do a bank reconciliation, we need he needs to bring the business checkbooks into the office, but he used to say, the company and myself is one person. So there is no money for the company and there is no money for myself. So in that regard, he had thought that the business for the finances for the business and his own personal finances were one. But in real sense, I want to tell you in this episode that the business finances and your personal finances are totally distinct. They are not one. So if you want to create wealth, ensure that you separate the business finances from your personal finances. Another aspect, try as much as you can to get out of debt. Try as much as you can to get out of debt. Now, you need to really try as much as you can to get outside the debt. Now, a debt is one thing that will stagger your growth, especially when you have borrowed to your limit. You have overstretched your debt, meaning all your finances, when you get any income, it goes towards debt repayment, and you don't have any funds remaining to do investment. You do not have any finances remaining so that you can do some more investment that will bring a return to your business. And if you must borrow, viewers, ensure that you are not borrowing for consumption. You are not borrowing for food. Some people call it a good debt and a bad debt. In this episode, I want to tell you that if you must borrow, please don't borrow on consumption, but borrow for investment. And when you are investing, ensure that the investment that you are making is an investment that brings a return that is higher than the inflation rate. Some of us, they put money in an investment that, yes, that brings a return, yes, but that return is way below the inflation rate, meaning that even that money that return that has come from the investment cannot even sustain the business because the inflation rate is higher than what it is bringing. Now, also remember that a bank is a place where you can get a credit facility when the weather is so good, and they come to ask for it when the weather is so bad. For example, giving an umbrella to somebody when the weather is humid, and you go and ask for the same umbrella when it is raining. So you find that that umbrella is not useful to this person because you gave him the umbrella at the time when the weather does not need the umbrella, but you are going to ask for the umbrella when he so really needs because it is raining. So that is the bank. That is what the banks do. And now I want to close the episode by a quote from the United States by the 45th President of the United States. That is Joe Biden. This is what he says. Don't tell me what you value. Don't tell me what you value, but show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. Don't tell me what you value, but show me your budget and I will tell you what you value. Because in the budget, we will see where most of your resources are going. The more in the budget, if you allocate more resources in that sector, in that line of business, in that line of production, then we will really know that is the area that you saw value. Just like as the scriptures say, where your treasure is, that is where your heart is. That is where your heart is. Now, viewers, before I call it off, I also want to encourage you that when you have debt, you need to start off by paying these small debts before going to the huge debts. Because when you pay off the small debt and you finish it off, it will motivate you even as you continue paying off the biggest debt. So I thank you so much, and I want to encourage you that as you aspire to grow wealth, ensure that you don't spend most of your money that you have earned on the things that you don't want, to impress the people that you do not like. Just like Will Rogers said that too many people spend their money earned to buy the things that they don't like, to impress the people that they don't like. How a wonderful quote! How a wonderful quote! Because many people want to show off. So in the aspect of wealth creation, you don't have to show off, but instead you need to be realistic. Thank you so much.